component of these hearings. We stream all of them live to YouTube, so folks can tune in if they'd like to observe. Looks like that's all set. All right, last thing I need to do is go through our hearing script. Basically just covers what the procedure of the hearing will be, and then we'll jump right into our presentation of the applicant's case. So this is the August 11th, 2014 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I'll preside over this hearing. Case before us today is case number ZH20210104. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. The hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing, unless a party has submitted evidence or testimony in the form of writing prior to this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If there were anyone here from the public, they would then have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. In the event any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to an application, the applicant shall have an opportunity to rebut that testimony and or argument offered in opposition. I will, of course, give our zoning plans examiner, Walter Moeller, an opportunity to testify too. And then finally, I'll give the applicant an opportunity to make any closing statements. So for our purposes here today, I'll give you an opportunity to tell me about the application, why you think it's appropriate, any background that you think is useful for me to make a decision. I'll give Walt an opportunity to testify and offer anything in addition to his staff report. I'll give you an opportunity to respond to that and make any closing statements, and we'll wrap it up. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. This generally means evidence you would like to introduce consists of statements made by someone who's not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties or unforeseen circumstances with our video conferencing technology, we'll do our best to troubleshoot any of those on the fly, but to the extent we can't meaningfully proceed because of technical defect, that may continue to postpone this hearing at my discretion. Okay, I think that's it. The last thing we need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So, Will, I need you to raise your right hand and be sworn. Walt, if you could take yourself off mute. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay, great, fantastic. All right, so Will, what would you like to tell me about the project?
So, well, first, thanks to Mr. Moeller and you as well. This is a rather small lot. And I guess to take a step back, the house, I don't know what, do you have the, what I had sent Miss Maines before with pictures of the house?
Yeah, was that part of the application materials?
I believe so.
Yeah, I've got the full application packet.
Yeah, the house was, without question, dilapidated and in total disrepair. I had the opportunity to purchase it, and to take a little bit of another step back, the individuals living there were they end up having to be evicted for non-payment, and that was a whole nother issue altogether. But anyway, what we're building there is a two-family home. I'm sorry, a single-family home, effectively for my parents because they're in their 70s and getting older. Be kind of abutting our house, but given the municipal code and talking with Mr. Moeller, I think we're just requesting a 4-foot variance. And if you look at the document I sent, from the existing structure that was there, we're only moving 16 inches. I don't know if you can see that little copper pipe, but from what was there, we're only moving 16 inches forward.
So, sorry, are you looking at a particular document right now?
Yes, sir. It's I don't know what name it has, but it's, there are pictures on it. It's really the only thing with pictures.
Okay. Let's see. Let me just try and find that so we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
Okay, with the pictures and the arrows?
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
So if you follow that, if you look at the, if you follow that column on the left of the house, that piece of concrete you see there is the piece. If you follow that arrow to the next picture on the right, that shows you the 16-inch difference. And that vertical piece of copper that's sticking in the ground, that is the 20-foot, 3-inch mark that we would like to hit. If you look on the left, back at the house, you can see the condition it was in, and it's since been knocked down. I've invested a significant amount of money to get that down, but
Is it
now
so? Is it when you bought it? That's what it looked like on the left there.
less the concrete on the porch. Yeah,
Okay.
it was really just in really bad, rough shape.
Okay.
So it's no longer there. And then if you go to the next page. Oh, good, you have it up. Okay. There's kind of an overlay of the property. And as you can see, we're using almost exactly the same footprint. We are in, if you look at the houses on 33rd, there's kind of a natural jog to get to the house on the corner there. And we just kind of complete that jog. So, I mean, to the eye, it doesn't look like, there's this giant structure from the street blocking it.
Well, do you have that other document with the overlay?
It's on the next page. It's on the next page.
Yeah, the way we digitize these, and so they get a little bit out of order with how they're oriented in our system. So
no, so that looks like it. That's something from you guys, I think. And then if no, that's
is it the actual site plans?
It's what I had sent Cassandra. The one with the arrow. It's the second page of the one with the arrows. Yeah, it'd be the second page of the one you just flashed. Yeah, top. Right there you go. Right there. So effectively, I mean, we're talking about 16 inches. So that's from what was there. Now with the code, and Mr. Mueller can talk, it's about 24 feet if you take the average of all the homes. I think it's 800 feet down the street, give or take a foot or so, because I think a couple down the road, meaning north, jut out a little more than what you see there. But we're asking for a 4-foot variance, and given the size of the lot, I personally think it's reasonable, and given the investment, there's no question that it's going to be make the neighborhood, in my opinion, a better place. I also submitted to Cassandra. I don't know if you have that, but there's a letter from every neighbor adjacent to the property, meaning every point that touches the property. Additionally, there's the man who owns the house across the street. So anyone who would effectively look at the house directly has signed a letter of their support. They've seen the blueprints of the building, and they support, what it's going to look like. It will architecturally, it'll match the neighborhood. It'll be craftsman style. We'll have corbels, and it's going to look like it was, put there, like built in the 1920s, 1930s, but it'll just be a modern building.
Are those letters of support in the record? Did you include them in the application?
Well, I sent them. They weren't initially when I sent them. Because I had to take a little time to get signatures. I sent them on, I can tell you. I think August, I want to say August 3rd.
Okay. Were they in digital format?
Yes, sir. Let me, let's see here.
If you wouldn't mind resending those to Walt, he'll pass,
Yeah.
he can pass them along to me. I just want to keep them as a part of the record.
Yeah, sure. Let me see here. Just to Walt or you as well?
Walt's good. Walt can forward them along. It'd be
All right,
quicker.
cool.
So I understand then you are not asking for relief on the driveway width. Is that right?
No, no, we'll comply with everything. I think it's 20 feet. We're gonna curb it at the 20 feet and then just put the, just jog it out or flare it out. So no, the only variance I'm asking for is just the front to back.
Okay. And so I'm looking at some maps here, trying to pull up cages, but are there similar front yard setbacks in the area, or would this be
Yeah,
something weird?
down the street, if you look, well, it's hard. If you go, I guess it'd be north. I can show you, I can tell you which house. There's one that lines up with it almost perfectly.
Mhm.
If you kind of eyeball it, let me pull it up.
Okay, I think I see it. 4209.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the skinnier home. So,
Mhm.
I don't, based on what the house, that porch, I don't know if that was built, with that in mind. It's hard to say. I didn't, I don't know, but if you look, there's that skinny home where the white car, oh yeah, next to the tree. That's almost exactly where we're going.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
the thought would be, I guess, because it's on a corner, you're gonna have something that, because the house in the corner where the Tracy's live, there's something's gonna kick out. And their house still is the farthest towards 33rd. But
Okay.
given the size of the lot, there's not a whole lot you can do with it if you don't get some kind of zoning variance.
Okay. Yeah, so that was going to be another question of mine. I mean, why couldn't you just move the house back? Would it then create the need for a rear yard setback variance?
Yes. Yeah, the lot's about 84 feet, 82 feet, I think, if I measure it. And then that, I think we have and are you on, Mr. Mueller?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, I think it's a 25-foot setback based on
Okay.
our build.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess you have to cheat one way or the other. I know that's not the right word, but
Sure. So why don't we go ahead and move over to Walt? Walt has a tendency of answering my questions before I ask them.
Good.
So let's see. Let's give Walt an opportunity to give some summary here.
Okay, yeah, as you can see in the picture where I have the circle at right here,
Yep.
you can see the difference between the two lots. I mean, these lots that we're comparing his front yard average to are all relatively deep compared to what he has. This is half the size essentially. So based on the minimal requirements and the size of that lot, we think he's done a great job of kind of balancing between one and the other, how this is going to look. One of the things that was key as far as our looking at this is that he is the next house in on the corner. So your corner lot as you enter the street is actually about 10 foot from the property line. So now you're going to step back to nearly 20, and then you'll step back to the next house. So proportionally and visually as you enter the street, the house is going to be looked like it was put there intentionally to soften the setbacks as you move down the street. So we think he did a great job on this. We did leave the variance in and recommended denial for the driveway width. Well, I have talked to Will about it, but the drawings we had still shown it. So we have to recommend denial for it. So it's quote, not part of the approved set, which is the reason why
Okay.
we left that in.
Okay. Anything else, Walt?
No, I just like to say, everyone is between Walt and Cassandra. Everybody's been very just quick to reply, and it's. I've learned a lot, I guess, and in a respectful way. They've been super helpful. But I do think, I mean, if you look at that letter, I'll resend it to Walt, but there's no question that given what's going in there, it's going to match the fit and finish of the neighborhood. And, you know, I'm doing this for my family, and hopefully we're doing it a tasteful way. And then I've invested a significant amount of money thus far, just, you know, getting it ready. So that's all I have. And I appreciate everyone's time. I do have one question. At what point, if we get it, or even if we don't, what point will I be able to, start, you know, breaking ground, as it were?
So decisions typically take about 2 weeks to issue after this hearing.
Okay.
And there are a few things that you can do. You can apply for building permits while you're waiting for the decision, and cut some of the time down on that. But then assuming this is approved, and I'm leaning that way, I'll share with you. As soon as this is approved, you can start working with Walt on actually getting those building permits. From there, Walt, I don't know what the time frame is. Once
it's submitted and paid for, it goes through a review process. For residential, the building plans examiners have 10 days to look at it, get back to you for any revisions that you need. We have 10 days also. We generally get those done a little bit quicker. So if you submit the drawings that still have this driveway on it, and David takes my recommendation to deny the driveway, I'm going to send you a letter saying you can't have the driveway looking like that.
No. We'll fix that.
But I'm
Is it
just saying that's where you are. I mean, it's just as simple as getting your building permit in and getting the process moving. And
I have they had some, in my opinion, kind of minor items that we can easily fix on the drawings. But can I pre-send those or send those to you before and say, hey, is this what you're looking for as far as the driveway?
yeah, you can shoot me an email and I'll give you a preliminary review. No
All
problem.
right, yeah. I'll just make sure that's what you Jack. Okay. Well, great. Well, I don't have any other questions. I went to for another building I own. I went to a zoning hearing for, I can't even remember what it was, like a foot difference for a dormer or something. And it was much more spirited than this. There were a lot more people there, but this is first time I've done it, and it's been pretty good. So,
okay, great. Glad to hear. Glad you've had a good experience. So what I do as soon as I finish these decisions, I put them into a PDF. I email it to you immediately, so you'll have it just moments after. And then as soon as you get that, you can start working with Walt on the building permit stuff. If you have any questions in the meantime, anything comes up, feel free to reach out to myself or Walt, or if you just want an update on the status of the decision, just reach out to us, and we can provide that to you.
Great. Well, I appreciate everyone's time, and Cassandra has been great in getting all this together. So I, feather in her cap, but I'm sure
that
tough to deal with. So
yeah,
anyway,
I get that a lot. She's great. I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Hope you all have a wonderful day. We are adjourned.
All right. Thanks. Have a great day.